Hello Year 10. This is your first online learning lesson for week 9 in term 1. I'm making a screencast so that you can watch it multiple times if you need to, because there are a number of different things that you will need to do today. You are all at different stages with your learning. I can see that some of you have completed the Viruses Education Perfect that we started on Friday, whereas some are less comfortable with the concepts of proteins and nucleic acids, which is fundamental to your learning from here onwards. So what I've done is provided you, or I will provide you with a number of different options today. Initially, and all of this is listed in your Teams chat, so if I just go to our Teams, if you can see this, I don't want to be in the notebook actually. There we go. Nope. Here we are. So some of you will need to go back to the Quizlet that I posted on here. When you open this, you can actually modify it and create a modifiable copy that you can build on as you move through the rest of the semester. Really important that you learn some of the key terms. When we're in science, we have to use the right terminology. So please click on this Quizlet, download your own version, and use it to ensure that you can really use the terminology that's necessary to describe nucleic acids and proteins. Now, much of this will be a reminder of things that you've done in your core Year 10 course, but if you're not quite you don't feel particularly confident with that, please go back and ensure that you can do it. The second thing, now here's my post here, second thing I've done is actually set you a little quiz just about proteins and nucleic acids. So I'd like you all to click on this just to show me where your understanding is with those biological molecules. Just a little reminder, if you do feel like you're being left behind here, please go back and watch the Amoeba Sisters video on biological molecules. It was posted on LMS a few weeks ago and it was set as homework. I feel some of you may benefit from going back to that. The third activity is for you to make sure that you have completed that Education Perfect lesson on viruses. It does go into a lot of detail about virus structure and replication cycle, which I'd like you to make some notes as you're going. I'd like you to really understand the difference between viruses and other pathogens that we encounter, and then therefore you can start to understand the kind of treatments that we might use against a virus and how it's necessary for those to be different to a bacterial infection, for example. So please go back and complete that. I'll be keeping my eye on your EdPerfect and see how you're all tracking. And then for those of you who have already finished the virus activity, I've set you a project that will continue throughout the week. Now this is very relevant to everything that's happening right now, as you are too much aware. Things are changing rapidly in the situation, and I have set you a project that actually is to start researching and developing your own really good scientific understanding of what's going on with this COVID-19 disease and the virus, the coronavirus that's causing it. So if you have finished all of those activities, 1, 2, 3, and you're ready to move on to number 4, you'll notice that I've set up a class notebook in here. So this is separate to the one that we've been using in class so far. Click on your class notebook, and in the collaboration space I have got, no, I'm not in the collaboration space, sorry. In the content library, you'll be able to see Investigating Science and COVID-19 project. Of course, it's not collaboration. What I'd like you to do, step 1, is to copy this into your very own, here we go actually, into your very own folder and put it into your class notes. Okay, so just highlight that, go through the whole thing, including the video link, and copy it into your personal notes, and that's where you can start to make some notes for research purposes. This video here is fantastic, so it's a really good introduction. It's quite new, so it is up to date relatively, although the situation is changing all the time. As we go through this week, I'd like you to address these questions, okay? Starts with a general introduction, as we would normally do in a scientific research project, and then goes into specifics about the virus itself and the disease, making the distinction between those. Local and global strategies that we are using to try and deal with the spread of this disease, and then a little bit of an extension activity. So if you are ahead and you're enjoying getting into the research here and you're starting to develop some interest of your own, there is a really good opportunity for you to go and look into some of the current research that's going on in this area. Now, it's happening very quickly, and please be mindful that usually research takes many months, if not years, to actually publish, because many other scientists need to review it and ensure that your methods and techniques of analysing and coming to your conclusions are actually valid. In this situation that we're in now with COVID-19, we're not really following those protocols. So you're very welcome to raise questions about how valid the research is that you found. I'd really love it if you could do that. But just while you're reading, be mindful that there are so many messages around. And one of the challenges that we have as scientists and in society, as global citizens, is to work out what is true and what's not true, what's reliable and what's less reliable. Okay. The final thing I want you to do in this project is actually to ensure that you always credit your sources. So none of this information that you'll be presenting to me will be your own idea. Oh, that's not fair to say. Most of it will be from other sources, and you must always credit other sources unless it's your own personal opinion. So please ensure that you do that, and I've given you an example at the bottom. Now, my recommended way to present this information is, here we go, there's a PowerPoint slide, and this will be familiar with those of you who've done the infographic. I've included an example with all the same questions in it, but in one of those extended PowerPoint slides. So I've gone into the page setup, I've made it a very long poster style document so that you can provide lots of information on just the single slide, and then we have the opportunity to present it and print it out. So one thing to say is that this has a very specific audience. As when we looked at the scientific posters, they were designed for a scientific audience. When you produce the infographic, they were designed for an everyday audience that didn't have any particular amount of scientific knowledge. This, as you'll see, it's information and advice for teenagers. So you're communicating with people your own age. So be mindful of that when you're answering and addressing the questions that I pose for you. So there is a PDF in there. For those of you who don't have PowerPoint, you can copy the questions from the PDF or just take it from the content pages in the course notebook. I will go through and copy that into everybody's class notes so that you can just address the questions yourselves as you go. So, quick recap. Let's just go back into Investigating Science. Download the Quizlet, make sure that you understand all about nucleic acids and proteins, then answer my quiz, complete the activities in Education Perfect on viruses, and then move on to the COVID-19 project that I've set you in your class notebook. I will obviously be available on Teams, videocast, or just chat, text chat. So if you have any questions, please get straight in touch. And if you'd like to watch this again, please do. Okay, bye.